Hey, what's up everyone? I've shot a video here that I think is really important. It's going to be looking at one of the most fundamental principles. If you get this, it will take your internal game and your ability to change your life to the next level. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please like and subscribe to the video. Thanks so much. So I wanted to talk about the principle as above, so below, or as within, as without. That expression that we've all heard, which kind of says that in the macrocosm, in the universe, you can find it within us. Now, that sounds all very nice and well. Let's have a look at examples of this to get a little bit of a better understanding, and then I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it the way I've discovered, to show you how that applies to optimizing yourself, your self-development, and how to connect with your internal operating system, and how that exists, and how it has to exist. Okay, so on this website, Inward Quest, I haven't really looked at it too much, but it was just, I was googling as above, so below, as within, so without, and vice versa, as in heaven, so on earth. Now, if you look at this, I think it's a fractal. The closer you look at it, it becomes the same thing again. It kind of does my head in, actually. But you can see it more easily with this fern. Now, if you look at the large fern, it's made up of smaller exact ferns. So it's almost like holographic. And that's a better, like the small, the large is made up of parts of the small, if you know what I'm not explaining that well, but you can see it clearly that the whole is made up of just the same thing in parts. You can also look at this neural network, which is extremely cool. It looks like galaxy clusters. So when you look closer into the brain or into the body, you can see it in the universe. Just fascinating. Here's another example. This is you can see the iris. When you look at it, it looks like a galaxy, and you know, these are beautiful examples of sort of the universe showing up in the body. This is a very easy one to understand, is as above, so below. So when you look at a tree, all you see is the above part, but underneath, the roots, the whole system underneath is kind of equal to the one above, so that so you could kind of turn them upside down, and it's when you see a tree uprooted, it looks like a different type of tree, but the roots are equal to the branches, and that's a very cool logo, actually. And this brings me back to, well, what? Well, if we look at this Bob Marley quote, it says, "Who are you to judge the life I live?" Just bring me back up. I am not perfect, and I don't have to be. Before you start pointing fingers, make sure your hands are clean. So what I see in this is, it's this great quote that I got from a course once, was when you point at someone, there are three fingers pointing back. So what you see in others and what bothers you in others is in you. So the shadow in you see your shadows reflected from others. So if you look at the world, everyone you see is just a mirror of what's inside of you, as without, as within. This is where it gets fascinating in self-development and psychology and mastery, self-mastery. Projection, I'm not going to go into that too much, but geez, like, that whole stuff is crazy. The projections that I've seen, you know, someone will go, "Oh, you're so stupid," and they're just really. I got some projection on me not so long ago, where literally everything this one person said to me was a projection of their own stuff. So, "Oh, you have to control your child," otherwise your child will turn into a nightmare. And this person's daughter is going to turn into a nightmare. And that person was a nightmare when she was a daughter. And there were lots of other things that were projected onto me. When you do get projected onto from someone else's own stuff, it's usually quite a shock, and it's confusing, by the way. So just so you know, when people project, it's very confusing. It's like, well, what had just happened there? It's quite difficult to respond back straight away. So whenever someone's pointing, there's three fingers pointing back. Whatever you don't like in others, you have in yourself. Another way of working on yourself is, let's say you look at someone that you really don't like, that you despise, and you look at what's good about them. And this is a way of balancing yourself. So one of the people I took that I didn't like was Donald Trump. And I actually admire so what I didn't like about Donald Trump was in my shadow self. It was what I was not owning. So some of the things I saw in Trump was he's so arrogant. He just says what he wants. He doesn't give a shit. Now, I was on my side. I'm like, I'm doing the opposite. I care too much about what people think. I'm not valuing myself enough. And he's really valuing himself, yeah? So I had to see what I didn't like in Donald Trump outside of me and become more neutral to it to be able to develop that in myself, yeah? So as without, as within. And this can be seen. I was having a conversation earlier with a very cool guy and someone who's gone into counseling and therapy, as in doing it for others. And we were talking about a particular client, and I was explaining it, and then we started talking about the father, this person's father, and you could see the symptoms in the client in the father, as below as above. So if you want to know a lot of your program, it comes from above you, from your parents, and then from their parents. So this idea of our program is passed down from above into ourselves, and what we don't like about our parents, we will pass on to our children unless we look at that mirror to be able to see it and then to resolve it, yeah? And I was looking for, we'll start off, so this guy was writing, I think I'm not sure that they're his tweets, or maybe Naval, and the one that caught my attention was, yoga cultivates peace of body, meditation cultivates peace of mind. So that idea of as below, as above. So people with, a messy mind will have a messy body, or some people say, people who are bald, grass doesn't grow on a busy pavement. A better analogy would be tidy room, tidy mind. If you wanna, if you're the whole book about that Marie Kondo or something, the Japanese lady who teaches tidying methods, she says if you tidy all your stuff up in the different compartments and tidy it up, it will transform your life. It transform your mind. So if you transform your external, you transform your internal, and it's actually very, very good. So if you've got messy finances, that's going to show up in something inside of you. As above, as below. Your mind affects your body affects your mind. So that was quite cool. Okay, you kind of get the idea that as without, as within. Now, what are we surrounded by every single day? And that might be different for other people, but right now I have a MacBook Pro in front of me. I have a nice audio and video setup just to my right here. I've got my iPhone tethering, hotspot tethering over there. So I have this amazing tech in front of me. I'm in Mexico, so I haven't got all my tech stuff with me. But we have computers, we have rocket ships, we've got AI, VR, robots outside of us. The technology is absolutely incredible, right? But inside of us, we've got a mental health crisis. No one has a clue. Just get my hair sorted. All I've got is like one of those shavers on the side of my head because I haven't got hairdressers here. No one can go, so I don't trust my wife to do the top of my hair. Anyway, so we've got all this tech outside of us, but inside of us, no one's got a clue, right? There's mental health records have been broken all over the place. Suicide is crazy. The amount of suicides going up. People feeling more and more isolated, and as a balance, there's this self-development, but more spiritual movement, especially meditation. I know one of the marketing guys was, what's his name? The guy who shouts all the time, high energy. He was saying meditation is the next billion-dollar industry. So you've got this, everyone's going, I need to work on, people starting to realize they need to get control of their monkey mind. So what's everyone doing? Well, the big new movement is mindfulness, staying in the present moment. That's an old technology. The even older technology is meditation. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it comes from a time 2,000 years ago when people lived in caves and there was no external technology. So a lot of the paradigm and the things you hear from people is healing takes time, or things take time. You can't resolve things quickly. You just need to sit with it, blah blah blah. But that's everything to do with healing is slow. It takes months. But then outside of us, we can send an email in a second. We can connect via internet. People can go onto each other's computers through TeamViewer. We're building these decentralized platforms. You got Bitcoin with no middleman. Everything's instant. You can control your own money. You can there's this amazing tech that everything's instant, and there's deletion. We can clear things instantly. But when it comes to inside of us, we have to go back to old technology. 100 years ago, you sent a letter to America. It took 3-6 months. You go back 2,000 years, you couldn't do it. Maybe smoke signals over the water, or send a pigeon or something. So what I'm trying to say is, as without, as within. That is how it is. And if we have all of this tech outside of us, then we have the same amount of tech inside of us. We have our own internal operating systems. We have this biocomputer. We can delete things. We can connect to other people's computers. We can resolve things for others on the other side of the planet instantly. We can resolve things for ourselves, pain, emotions, whatever, instantly, because we can do the same outside of us. We don't have to go back to the past. And so Naval was saying on Twitter, and I tried to find the tweet, I'll dig it out at some point. He was kind of saying, everything else, we've got this tech in the future. It's amazing we can resolve things with tech. But the only thing is our internal reality and our spirituality. We have to go back 2,000 years. That's how it is. He's saying that's how. I'm like, what? And I think I tweeted back to him, that's your reality tunnel is not correct. Like, we have this tech. So this is something I've worked on I've been looking for about 25 years. In the last 10 years, I've been fully using this internal tech. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I get a lot of good results, or there's a lot of testimonials that are hard to believe. I worked with this guy. He'd had back pain for 19 years, had operations, was on tons of medication. He didn't want to speak to me. I connected with him, worked on him one-to-one. He told me at the end of the session that was the biggest waste of his time. He's an atheist. He doesn't like anything like that. Next day he woke up, his back pain was gone. And he's never had it back. Or he's never had that back pain back. And he actually tried to make the back pain come back because it freaked him out so much, but he couldn't. So, and those type of stories, there are miraculous results. So I'm not saying that to try and blow my own trumpet. I'm telling you so that you can connect with your own internal tech and resolve your stuff for yourself. You don't need to go outside to look for experts. You are your own experts. We need to have a shift in this paradigm, especially around spirituality, that we need all these, there are these gurus and everything. It's more like mixed martial arts. What's happened? MMA, you got these kung fu masters going around acting like they're all better than everyone, teaching other people unrealistic things. And then MMA's come about because people just want results. They want to see what results. So they pull all these mixed martial artists together, and you got this ninja who does a backflip. This big guy just goes bang. And it turns out that all of the bullshit is the things that don't get results. And it's just about, they had the jiu-jitsu guy who's all about results. And now everyone uses them. It's all about getting results, mixed martial arts is what I'm saying. And these grand masters of kung fu who come up, they challenged by an MMA fighter, and the MMA fighter just knocks him out because he can't get results. So the same goes for now. Everyone is equal. If you look at it, we're all on a decentralized platform, but we're all connected, interconnected, and we're able to resolve our own things. Sometimes on your Mac, sometimes on my MacBook Pro, I'm going to have something on my computer I can't fix. Then I take it to a specialist. But if I know how to use my own operating system, I can do, the basics, delete my own trash, close my own web browsers, empty my email, and stop programs that are running that are taking up too much energy. But we're walking around nowadays with these advanced, let's call them MacBook Pros, as humans. No one knows how to close their web browsers, close their memories, stop the cache from forming, which slows us all down. They don't know how to empty their own trash. They don't know how to empty their emails. They don't know how to close programs from running that causes a slowdown in the body, causes disease, and causes anxiety and worries and pain in the body. They just don't know how to do that. So I'm here to, in my sort of humble way, is just, I've been through the shit, a lot of painful experiences, but that was my drive, and now I know how to do this for myself, and I want to help other people to just connect with their own, their own operating system. So that was really what I wanted to say with this video is, as without, as within. Massive, amazing tech outside of us, amazing tech within ourselves. We don't need anyone else to tell us how to use our tech. We just need to connect with ourselves and know how to use our insight to connect with our own answers. There's a breakdown in this whole, like the Catholic Church, you have to go to church and give the church money to be able to, be cool with God. And now with coronavirus, the Pope said, actually, you can connect with God in your own apartment. So there is a movement towards that direction of self-empowerment. But you don't need anyone else. You just need to connect with your own internal operating system. My video is going to be all about that. I'm also going to be talking about how to quickly connect with your body to resolve things, how to work with your mind to resolve, self-value, self-esteem issues, negative thinking, emotions, fears, how to quickly resolve those, and then how to work out what this thing called the spirit is, which is really Dropbox. And being spiritual is just going into your Dropbox, and you don't always want to go there because everything's in your spirit. And so all these people who say they're spiritual, and then they come to me because they have got no idea what they're doing, and they're all over the shop. So that's it. Internal operating system, as without, as within. Your Mac outside of you is inside of you. Okay. Listen, if you like the video, please press like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Trying to grow this channel, get this message out there, self-empowerment, and appreciate you listening, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.